Hey everyone. So today, Saturday, February the 12th, my wheels showed up. FedEx dropped them off. They were in the driveway. Ta-da! So, I'm going to do a little unboxing video for this. All right. Get instructions and the bolts must be in there somewhere. So I don't see them. They smell new. Bolts with 2 extra inserts, so that must be the nut zerts for the back. All right, so here's what it looks like. $17 by 9.5 with a 44 negative offset and 3.5 of back spacing. Pretty nice coating on them, but it's a little gritty back here, which isn't going to make a big difference, but that's a warning for something. There's where the valve stem hole is, because you can't have it right here because of the bead. There's the rock ring. It takes 32 of these to hold it down. I've never used bead lock rooms before, but basically you just shove that down through the tar on this, over this side. Sets in there. And then the other bead sits partly on this, and you bolt it down with that and it crimps it. Over that, there's your other bead right there. Ta-da! That's pretty nutty. I gotta be pretty honest, I'm not looking forward to installing all 32 of these on each wheel and then torquing them down. That's gonna take some time. Alright, so I'm gonna weigh these just to see what they ring in at. I don't see a weight on the box. So put the bolts in here. They are pretty hefty. They're heavier than my Bart wheels that are 16.5 by 12. They feel heavier anyways, I think. Okay, so 225, I weigh $180. Well, 179, so they're 44 pounds a piece. So yeah. So probably Monday I'll try and put those on. See how long it takes me. I'll take some footage of that too, just see how exciting it is. Okay, so I'm gonna make a quick video here of mounting the last tire on the rim. That's right, I did 3 already. Saved the last one to make a video about, just a quick tutorial. I've never done this before, so I did the first 3 just to kind of figure out the bugs before I went at it and showed it on film. It's not really that hard or complicated, but it's time consuming due to the fact that you have so many bolts and whatnot to torque down. The weather here today is not that great, so I'm not looking forward to mounting them on the truck. It's well above zero. We've lost pretty much all of our snow, but it's raining pretty good at times, so it's not going to be a fun thing because that won't fit in my garage. And my garage is full of junk right now and tires. It's also flooded from everything melting. It's coming in through the cement work and flooding my floor. So yeah, here's the finished product, you guys. Pretty happy with how it looks. But like I say, it's a lot of work torquing all these down. But I'm pretty stoked to get them on the truck and try them out. So yeah, we got a tire, we got a rim. Let's get to it. Okay, something I'm going to mention right now. This is a steel wheel, obviously. In the instructions and the video that I watched online about this from Raceline themselves, they talk about this lip on the wheel. Well, obviously that wheel doesn't have it, so I'm under the assumption that it's just the aluminum wheels that come with that, maybe? I don't know. But you see how it steps in there, and that's where your outer bead of your tire sits. It sits in a groove, and then the ring goes on top of it. With these wheels, your groove is here. So you got to kind of center it on the wheel and put the lock ring on. I wasn't too keen about that. It would be nice to have that nice machined ridge to set the tire in and know you got it centered, but it is what it is. Okay, so with these wheels, the valve stem's here. That's where it goes, because obviously if it was to come out here and you got that rock ring on, the locking ring, you're not going to be able to put air in it too good. So a little WD-40, shove that in the hole, pull it through with a pair of pliers, or if you've got the actual tool that threads on, done deal. It's a lot easier to do it now than when the tire's already on. I'm speaking from experience. It's not fun to lift one of those up to try and get this shoved through. There, that's done. So the next step, just spray a little WD-40 around the lip.
just give you some lubrication to slide that tire on. And then the bead of the tire too. These usually don't go on too bad. Just kind of got to wiggle them a bit. Start with one end on and then just wiggle the rest of it. And I find this helped with the other ones. You take where the lip is, just press it on. The last little bit. Okay, so like I was saying, there's no lip on this, so you just kind of eyeball it, try and get it fairly close. Look at the bolt holes, look at the bead, move the rim around to get it as close as you can. Obviously when the ring's on and the bolt's on, it's going to center it a little, I think, but just get it somewhat close. And then it's time for the ring. So basically what I do is I start at the valve stem and go through and just add the bolts. You got to do it in a pattern like here, 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 that kind of a deal. And there's 7 holes between each one. So you just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And yeah, just thread them in by hand. As you can see, they're a little bit off, but it shoves in fairly easy. Okay, so once all the bolts are in, I just go around with the impact just to suck them in a little bit. These are all hard to go in because the rim's powder coated and it's a little bit built up around that, so once they're in there, it's no problem. Okay, so the next step that I do is I mark the starting point of where I do the torque sequence. So yeah, like I said, I go 7 bolts between each one, and I just go from the valve stem over and just keep skipping, and then I just keep jumping until I hit the next socket. Just keep going back and forth. Super time consuming, but that's the way you got to do it, I guess. So basically, my first pass, I just go till I get 8 foot-pounds. Then I do 12, and then I do 16. They say to go to 16 to 18, so I'm going to try 16. And like I said, I did all 4 corners. So then I do the first nut after the socket, and then the second, the third, and so on in sequence. Once I make it all the way around at 8, I go to 12, and then I do it for 16. Okay, all torqued. After I did the crisscross and got the 16 foot-pounds, I did go, starting at the valve stem, around twice, just to give that last little bit to get them all at 16. As you work your way around, it kind of loosens up the one next to it, but I assume you just go with it. You're supposed to torque these like, the instructions said something like 80 miles or something, whatever that works out to, 100k. Supposed to re-torque. I don't even see it on here now. Maybe that was on the video. Yeah, visually inspect bolts after first use for every 100 miles of use. So there's some maintenance to these, but obviously it's important to do it. So yeah. Next step is to seat the bead. These things are hefty. The rims weigh 44. The tires, I think, were 125 or 128 or something like that. So yeah, we got to get this bad boy up onto here. Typically what I do is just give it a boot. Spray a little of this around it. Another couple boots. And then put the air to it. See if it'll seat. I did have to use a ratchet strap on one of them. Just couldn't quite get it, but the other two went without it. I'm hoping that this one does too. So this one's fighting me a little bit. I spun it and gave it a couple more boots. That didn't help, so we're gonna use the ratchet strap that usually does the trick. All right, so fully mounted, ready to put on the truck. That's how I mounted them. I'm no professional or mechanic or tire installer or anything, but just get the job done myself, and that's how I went about it. Anyway, next stage is mounting them on the truck. Okay, I got all the tires mounted, and this is what it ended up looking like. I'm pretty happy with the way they fit. They stick out about as far as what the boggers did on 10-inch wheels. Obviously on the 12s the boggers stuck out way farther due to the offset and backspacing and whatnot. But yeah, they fit great, they look great, and I'm sure they perform great. I'm gonna take it for a rip right now and just see how they work, see how they hook up. Nothing crazy, just a little trip over to the sand pit, I think. But yeah, it's wicked. I'm super stoked. you could feel like when you let off the gas and then step back on, it was just like right there.